Now, Shaked joined me earlier in studio to discuss that and other political matters. Here's our talk. Interior Minister Ayelet Shaked, thank you for joining us on I-24 News.
Shalom, צהריים טובים.
Let's start with the agreement, the emerging agreement between Israel and Lebanon on their maritime border. What can you tell us about the current state of the negotiations, and are you prepared to support the agreement in its current form?
I'm going from here to the cabinet meeting, and there I'm supposed to hear a review from all the security factors. So I wouldn't like to express my view before I hear all the others, but I can tell you that the state of Israel is independent, sovereign. We have to produce gas without any connection to the agreement. The Karish, there's no controversial about it, and there's no connection between the production of gas. As for the agreement, of course, we could have reached a better agreement, whether to sign or not. That I will make a decision after the cabinet meeting.
And what about whether this should go to a full vote in the Knesset? Do you believe it should go to a full vote?
I think yes. I think that at the end of the day, the Knesset is the sovereign in the state of Israel, and the political agreement usually were brought to approval by the Knesset. If there's no majority, then it's a problematic situation, because the Knesset is the sovereign. So I think, yes, the agreement should be approved by the Knesset.
All right, I want to move on to politics. The Jewish Home Party, the latest polls show that it is still not passing the threshold. It's getting close, but it's not there. Are you prepared to run to the end, even if the polls show that you still haven't passed it before the election?
We see in all the polls a rise between 0.5% to 1%. We are short 0.75%. Today there is a dramatic poll which shows that if we do not run, if we resign, the left cluster is getting stronger. Therefore, for the right cluster, the right thing is that the Jewish home is that for us to run till the end, and it's true that we will pass. There's no review. The right does not have 61 seats unless the Jewish home passes, and therefore the entire right should mobilize. We need one more seat in order to pass, and then we will have a stable right-wing government in the state of Israel.
There's polls that show even if Jewish home does pass a threshold, the right may not have a majority. You said
no way. If the Jewish home passes, there is a right-wing government.
You said you're prepared to sit with Benjamin Netanyahu as prime minister. You're open to it. Are you prepared to sit in a government with Benny Gantz as the prime minister, or Yair Lapid? You currently sit in the government with Yair Lapid.
The moment that I took upon myself the leadership, I am the leader, and I navigated it to the right. We are going to sit only with the right-wing cluster. If another party wants to join us, that's welcome. I'm all in favor for extended government, that many people in the public will feel that they're part of it.
Okay, but
I will recommend Netanyahu.
But you didn't actually answer the question. If Benny Gantz could be the prime minister with a substantial right-wing bloc in the government, which he said he wants to do, would you be willing to accept Benny Gantz?
I didn't understand. I'm saying it again. If Netanyahu decides to do a rotation with somebody, that's his issue. We are going with a right-wing cluster. We'll be happy if other parties join us. And if Netanyahu wants to have a rotation, it's his issue, and we will be willing to go with the entire cluster.
What about with Itamar Ben-Gvir, a government which would have Itamar Ben-Gvir as a senior minister? Do you see? Is that a problem for you?
What the public decides, that's what's going to happen. We're a democratic state. I do think that there's a large population in the right that does not think that Netanyahu, Smotrich, or Ben-Gvir are his representatives. I tell them, come back to the Jewish home. There are a lot of women. You know, a party, it's the only one in the party that the first 6 positions are women. I'm the first woman in the history of the state of Israel to lead a right-wing government. to lead a right-wing party. Give us force to a party with 50% women.
There are reports that senior officials in the Likud have told Benjamin Netanyahu it's a mistake to keep attacking you in the way that he has. Have you heard that from people in Likud, even top people in Likud?
Yes, people talk to me. They speak to me personally. Yuval Steinitz said it in an interview, but the other people speak to me privately. They say that Netanyahu is making a big mistake to attack the Jewish home. Just from the poll this afternoon, we saw that if the Jewish home does not run, the left gets stronger. So more people in the right. I understand it's an interest of the national camp that
people
we should
Likud,
run.
Knesset members in Likud have told you that?
Yes, a few of them. Not one and not two and not three.
Minister Shaked, you tweeted this week that the reasons that Benjamin Netanyahu attacks you are personal, not ideological. Help us understand one of the great mysteries of Israeli politics. What does Benjamin Netanyahu have against you personally?
Netanyahu has to look at the numbers. At the end of the day, I understand he's a rational man. If he looks at the numbers of the poll that was held today, he can see that if we don't run, most of our votes go to Gantz and to his party, and that weakens the right and it strengthens the left. I'm sure that within a few days he will realize, he will put all the private issues aside, and he will understand that the national camp should help us.
I know we just passed Yom Kippur, but why do you believe Benjamin Netanyahu in a couple of days is going to put aside his personal attacks on you?
Because he's a rational man. He sees the numbers, all the numbers in the polls. Without the Jewish home, he has no government. If he wants a right-wing government, the Jewish home is the solution. It's not the problem.
I'm sorry we don't have more time to talk about your work as interior minister, which is an important ministry. But one issue, you've been criticized for not being willing to accept more refugees from Ukraine and for the treatment of some of them who have been accepted here. How do you respond to that criticism, even within your own government now?
The state of Israel is the national state of the Jewish people. We did something that no other country did. We absorbed 40,000 citizens from the Ukraine and the area, and they got immediately citizenship and all their rights according to the law of return. That was our preference. In addition to that, to date, anybody who wants to come from the Ukraine as a tourist can come. Some of them even remain to work here, so I think that the state of Israel is doing way and beyond relative to other countries. And yes, I have the responsibility also to humanitarian help, but also to maintain the nature and character of the state of Israel as the nation state of the Jewish people. You cannot open the gates to everybody always.
One last question. If your forecast is correct and there would be a right-wing government, you serve senior positions, justice minister, now interior minister, where do you see perhaps serving next? Where would you like to serve if you could see a right-wing government formed after the next election? I
came here from a tour in the Jordan Valley. A big package house was burned there. Palestinians burned the whole place. There is agricultural terror, crime, protection. People shoot in weddings. There's violence on the roads. You have to deal with all this violence. Some of it is criminal, the other is national terror. My ambition is to go back to the Ministry of Justice in order to extend the penalties so it will be minimum. The one who burnt the farm today, they should go to jail.
Benjamin Netanyahu has attacked your record as Justice Minister. How do you respond to that?
This is an attack which is miserable. In the 4 years, I didn't do what the Likud did in 30. He always only protected the courts, and he stopped any reform. I was the one that introduced a right agenda on the table. I don't think there was one minister in the Ministry of Justice who did the same thing.
Interior Minister Ayelet Shaked, leader of the Jewish Home Party, thank you for joining us on I-24 News.
Thank you.